What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. My name's Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for stopping by the Heron Heads podcast, sponsored by 786 Sports, live at the 786 Sports studio, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. We are live now after the 4-0 defeat at the hands of PSG for Inter Miami at the Club World Cup. And let's talk about it. It was not the result we wanted, but certainly not a result that was unforeseeable. So how are you feeling, Dave?
I mean, when you look at it, we had the opportunity of really putting a statement out there and saying that we were just as good as the champion of Europe. And obviously that's not what we got. However, I don't think that we showed that we were as bad as some people thought we might have been. Granted, we were outclassed. Like, there's no way around it. But we held our own in the sense that we didn't get smoked. Inter Milan lost 5-0 in the Champions League final against them. Atletico Madrid also got smoked in this tournament against PSG. And we held up our own, and we didn't get embarrassed 10-0. Granted, PSG seemed to pull the brakes on, and they did play a little differently in the second half. But I feel fine with the way that this one went. Obviously, we would have loved to advance, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not. The thing is that while I'm happy with how we did in the group stage, we obviously overperformed there, right, compared to what everybody else was saying. I think when we played Porto, we were plus 330 in betting odds, just Porto alone. And then Palmeiras, same thing. We were also on there, not expect to win there. We didn't there, but we tied. But ultimately, I think, we can hang our hats at we did okay. Now, am I happy with the way we ended? No, that sucks. I do think we're a little bit. We show that we're outclassed, but I think maybe that's something that we could take with us, and maybe the MLS as a whole can take a look at it and say, "That's how far." Like, is that what we're okay with? Like, do we want the MLS to be this, right? Because this is the best MLS team that they're going to ever put out. Right up to with right now with how the rules are set up, that is the best MLS team you could possibly get, and we got wrecked. And ultimately, it's like, if you're okay with that, then whatever. Then that's what we're always going to see. But I don't. I'd rather see us competing on this kind of stage, because the stage was set for us to humiliate a European team that they think they're very, very good, and they are very good. And I think we dropped the ball in that sense. We could have shocked the world today, and we gave them exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. It's a shame that we couldn't even come out here and score one goal. That would have been a little bit more of a success against a powerhouse championship club like this. To me, it was still embarrassing whether we were supposed to lose or not. 4-0 is 4-0. Whether you're playing against the best team, the worst team, whatever. 4-0 is still embarrassing. Unfortunately, like I said, we couldn't get that goal. We didn't look good at all. And in my opinion, Luis Enrique went into halftime and told his team, "Hey guys, take it down a notch. We got this in hand already. Let's not go too crazy out there in the second half and just finish off the game." Because to go from 4-0 in the first half to 0-0 in the second half, I didn't see anything from Inter Miami to make me believe like they actually did anything different or better in the second half. To me, it just looked like PSG took it down a notch and just took the back seat. So was it awesome being here? Hell yeah, man. It was fun. The live stream was fun if you guys were on there, and I hope we could be here again. It's fun to be in this international stage, and MLS, like Jose said, MLS needs to look at this and say, what can we do better? All three teams have gotten bounced so far. Luckily, we got into the round of 16, but that doesn't make it any better. I mean, MLS looks horrible out there right now. So until the roster rules change, until the salary rules change, nothing's going to get any better. So hopefully we see something. That's the bright spot if you want to look at one. Maybe the MLS does change something.
PSG looked at this matchup and they were salivating. Ultimately, they're like, this is the best that they're going to have, and they're limping in. Ultimately, right? Like we're kind of hamstrung, right? We're what is it, like 150 million euro difference in salary? So like it's a big difference.
And they're riding on a high right now. They're coming back. Not only are they the champions of Europe, but now you get a chance to not only avenge the way that Messi kind of left PSG, but also avenge the World Cup loss, and they blame Messi single-handedly for that World Cup loss to Argentina. So that's what they're pounding their chests for. Like this was bigger than just a group of 16 match. It had a lot of different undertones to it, and whatever. Hats off to them. They were clearly the better club, and there's no shame in losing. But yeah, you would have liked to see a little something more from Inter Miami. But yeah, we're kind of stuck with the group that we had. That being said, Mascherano didn't really make any substitutions. I felt like they were complacent with the result that they were getting. We didn't see Fafa at all, and the most glaring issue in this one was obviously team speed, and we did not put in our paciest player in Fafa Picot, which was mind-boggling. And time and time again, we see Luis Suarez just fail at chances around the net. We had a few times that probably our best chances to score were off of his foot, and he just didn't make the right play. He didn't make a good touch or anything. We had some other shots on goals, but if those were just at least put on frame, maybe we're talking about a different result, and we feel a lot better about a 4-1, 4-2 loss than a 4-0. So things can be better, but until we kind of make some roster changes, we're never going to have Suarez off the pitch. It's just not going to happen.
We have we have now 4 years to prepare as a league for this matchup again. Well, not for this matchup, but
we're going to be drastically different.
Very different team in 4 years for us. But I mean, it sets the stage, right? Where in 4 years we know what to expect now, right? As a league, where we are right now, where we hope to be, and we see the difference.
Are we assured?
And honestly, no. I was going to say, who's to say that any MLS club is even going to be there? Someone has to win the CONCACAF, right? That's the first step here to even get into this tournament. We know we got in because we're the host nation. They chose us. LAFC had that play-in match with Club America, so we're not even guaranteed to be here next match. So it just makes it that much worse that all MLS clubs got bounced. But we still have a few years to get into CONCACAF again, to win the CONCACAF Cup and hopefully see us in here again.
And a few years for the league to figure it out. That if they want to compete on an international level, they're going to have to make some changes. And that starts with the ownership of all the clubs, because I feel like Inter Miami, their ownership group is ready to be on that stage and they're ready to dish out the cash. But there's 31 other clubs that need to get on board, or at least if they want a super majority, 26, 27 other clubs. That's the biggest hurdle, is getting everybody on board. And until that happens, we're never going to be able to realistically compete with these clubs. So you want to be able to show something.
Well, and probably what got us here in the first place, right, was having a guy like Messi. And ultimately, it's a little bit scary to think what was said prior to the game starting, Chris. What was Messi was going to announce whether he's resigning when?
Yeah, after whenever the end of this Club World Cup is. So the end is now.
The end is now.
See what happens.
It makes me shake my boots a little bit, right? Knowing, okay, this is how it ended. I don't imagine he liked to be part of that, man.
I think this is a much better ending than getting bounced on the group stage.
Oh yeah, but
I feel better about losing. And again, we lost to PSG, the champions of Europe. You didn't get bounced by Botafogo, which would have been worse. Like this same result against Botafogo would have been
brutal,
catastrophic.
I don't think we would have had that. That's the thing. I think where we are.
Well, that's what playing PSG kind of gives you, those platitudes. It gives you the opportunity to kind of have a little leeway in this kind of result, because the gap in talent is that drastic.
I hate that though. I hate saying, oh,
but it's the truth.
I know, but I rather, like I said, I rather go against Botafogo, see where we're really at, instead of go against the PSG. That's kind of like, whatever.
Our best chances to advance would have been that route, obviously, but
not even the best chances. It would have been able to see where we really are as a team.
But that's what the group stage was for.
Yeah, we all know that. We played Palmeiras. We had them beat, and Palmeiras beat Botafogo. Like these are equal clubs.
Yeah,
we know that we can compete with those types of clubs. So that's why we could have beat them and advanced, whatever. But until you played one of these true European powerhouses, a Chelsea, a Man City, a PSG, you don't really know where you stand. And look, we found out where we stand. We can't shine a light to it.
I think we knew.
I know, but until you find yourself on the pitch,
but you know, but then you also see, like, to the extent of which there really is a gap. Like you see Chelo getting burnt left and right, which we all knew we were at a talent disadvantage like across the pitch. But when you see it actually take place and like how much better these players are, you're like, okay, we're like miles behind.
Yeah.
What I will say that what are the takeaways that you can get from our team being in like players that you're looking at them now? Maybe you weren't looking at them so nicely before, and now you're like, you know what, this guy he showed up in this event.
I think for one way or another, Redondo had a decent tournament. Whether he
literally
matches well against these types of players, this kind of play that, you know, MLS is different in that they're very rough to begin with. The defense, yeah, it's not great, but they rough you up at the end of the day. It's very physical.
No doubt.
And we know Redondo likes to throw elbows and all that, but he gets affected in that kind of play. And we saw something different from him here. So I think he's one guy that maybe, you know, he showed a little something that we weren't seeing. Was it really that great? No, it wasn't great, but it was better than what we saw.
It was good.
I thought he was very sound. That's the only player, honestly, that you don't expect to really show up. Toto, until this match, had played better, played more within control. This one coming off the bench, kind of forced in injury time. I kind of give him a little bit of a pass. He clearly immediately picked up a yellow and was back to his old ways of just playing wild. But I mean, you kind of get a bit upset that we didn't really get a chance to see Ian Frey. You didn't really get a chance to see Yannick Bright play against a team like PSG. Like, I think that would have been really fun because those are pacier players who play much better defense on ball and things like that. So I think they could have made a big help. Would it have made a difference? Probably not. But it would have matched up better with what we did have today. And that's things that we didn't really get that chance, and we never will get that chance because this group, as is, will never play together in the next Club World Cup.
But being fair, who would you have taken out for Bright?
You probably wouldn't have seen Redondo as much.
Yeah,
and he did okay. That's the thing. That's
no, of course. But there, I mean, now in hindsight, we can lament that we didn't get a chance to even see it. And I think, you know,
against Palmeiras, the subs could have been Bright and Frey.
Correct.
Like, they could have come in instead of what was it, Fafa and Baltasar. Like, there's players there that made more sense to come in that we just didn't have.
100%.
And that would have changed a lot of things. And I don't want to play the what if game because that's it. Yeah. Everybody's dealing with injuries. Like, Dembele didn't come in until the second half. So, like, if he would have started, who knows how much more they could have scored.
It would not make a difference.
I didn't see him do anything in the second half. He was shut down.
He played a very different style of football in the second half.
We put him in the Dembele doghouse.
Okay.
Relax now.
A very luxurious doghouse.
Going back to Chris's question, I think Allende had a good showing for himself, especially against Palmeiras. And on a negative side, I mean, this was more confirmation that Suarez has so little left in the tank. I mean, even though we were finding so much more space in these games, like Suarez's moments were still so few and far between that it's like, why is he even the striker? Like, it's just he finds ways to contribute, but the moments are just so fleeting that it's more confirmation that there needs to be a solution looked for the striker position.
The miscues just far outweigh the positives. That's the problem. It's like, yes, he has the issue.
Where were the miscues?
In the attacking third.
I don't know if they were.
What are you talking about?
They're all over. Let me tell you.
But I don't know how many times you see clear goal scoring opportunities that he is either too slow to get to, finds himself in the wrong spot, doesn't have the right touch, doesn't put the ball on frame. It's just over and over and over. A player of that caliber, of that ilk, like you expect more from him. That's the whole reason you brought him. If he's not going to be able to outrun anybody or anything,
he won't.
He needs to be able to capitalize in front of the goal, and he hasn't.
IQ has to be off the charts. He has to do things that nobody else would do in that situation, and that he's not providing that. But
what he did last season.
Yeah. What I was thinking more so was, 3 of the goals that we let up today were from miscues in the back line. I mean, for Ustadi and the back line today were atrocious.
But they're miscues, but they're forced. Like, it's not just like, oh, it was an errant pass. Like, it's an errant pass because of the pressure that PSG puts on, and it's just it never stops. Like, we were watching the whole match. It's like they don't stop. They don't stop coming.
Pressure that we've seen.
Right. So, like, yes, there are errors by the players, and the players, you want them to do better, but like, again, there's a gap in talent and a gap in skill where if you put that kind of pressure on these players, they're gonna make mistakes. It's like, again, yes, when players make mistakes, you can call them out and stuff, but it's not. It wasn't just an individual mistake. It was a mistake because of PSG's press and because of their ability to shut down the options. I mean, we were like, why do you keep going to the back corner? But it's like there was nothing for them to do on the other side. So it's both, right? Like, yeah, Inter Miami should have done things differently, played better, made their passes better. And that's what we were saying in the preview. Like, how can Inter Miami win? Do the simple things well. They weren't allowed the opportunity to do the simple things well. No. They were just completely dominated up and down.
I do feel like we had a different approach in the second half. I did feel like we were actually in the fight, at least. I do think they're probably taking the foot off the pedal as well. I don't disagree with you. I think
that's the main thing.
Yeah. Well, but at that, once they did that, we've seen time and time again in Miami. Once you put a lot of pressure on our back line, that we collapse, and that's what I saw there. But then on top of that, then what David's saying basically is once we finally got into their third, what happened? You had a few miscues by Luis Suarez. He wasn't able to ever push the ball up the pitch. You had Allende, which another guy that we saw do a lot. Allende.
Yeah,
that's a guy that I feel like he had a great tournament, and I think that's something we can actually build on.
There's a comment just by Evan. He just made a good point that it's something that we haven't really discussed, and I don't know if many people are discussing. It's Busquets really has been underwhelming or a no-show in most of these matches, and a lot of people can argue that what he does is more of the unseen cleanup duty and things like that. But one of the goals today was a turnover by him that immediately led to a goal. Arguments could be made that Toto was out of position. But still, that player can't make that mistake in that moment. And these are guys they were leaning on to be better than what they've been. Busquets hasn't really had any conversations about a contract extension. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it for him and Suarez. So I think Jordi Alba has already resigned. We have no complaints with Jordi Alba.
We love Jordi.
He is as advertised. He brings exactly what we expected him to bring. Same with Lionel Messi. So it'll be interesting to see if we do pivot off of Busquets and pivot off of Suarez, what the next moves are. But we still have them for the remainder of the season. So it's not like they're going to leave now the tournament's over.
And it will be interesting to see what Messi decides to do as well. Because if Messi decides that this is going to be his last year, right? It will be this year or next year.
By all accounts, he's re-signing.
Right. We expect that. But if in the case he doesn't, that's going to be a really different look for us.
Because I think for sure the goal is for him to be playing in the new stadium. Yeah. And that stadium should open next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think at minimum one more season.
1 year we expect. But let's play the game of like, okay, we take Boosie out because that's what the comment said. I haven't seen much from him either, honestly. And it's in the Palmeiras game. He didn't have a bad game though. I didn't feel like he had a bad game.
He just make an impact like you expect. That first season when we had him, you felt him more. Like you were talking about during the watch along that I said I don't need to tell these people like make your presence felt.
Yeah,
Boosie's kind of a ghost. Like I know that Tata kind of deployed him at center back a little bit last season, and there were different ways that they would use him. That his talent was seen through balls coming from him, different moves, using him as a pivot, but we're not seeing anything.
And then look at his salary. You were talking about his salary and if he's going to get re-signed or not. He's a DP right now. He's getting paid a ton of money to ghost a lot of matches. He does. He has his good matches here and there, but he's a DP. You're not expected your DP to ghost very often and to not show his talent every single match. And we're not seeing that from him, unfortunately. So if they do re-sign him, let's hope it's not for that DP salary. As a coach. But if they do re-sign him, I hope it's not for that DP salary. That's for sure. We could definitely use that spot for someone else, a younger, faster, more talented individual that could really stretch us in the attack.
And I like Busquets. I don't want to feel like this is an assassination of his character or anything. I really do enjoy what he's done in the past and what he's done for us in the time that he's been with us. But it's hard to not talk about it when it's something that, again, you're looking at these established players to force their issue in the game, and it hasn't happened. So it's only Messi offensively.
Yeah. I will say it was nice to see Jordi play a full 90.
Yeah.
That was good. That bodes well for Inter Miami moving forward. Yeah, and well, right. He held his own. He had like one play that seemed off, that he gave it away pretty cheaply. But otherwise, I mean, he played his shift. It's hard to say anyone played particularly well. Jose, are we going to do the most and least of the match today, or
Let's do it.
let's do it? So
Imaging.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And now it's time for Jose's most and least of the match, presented by SofaScore.
Yeah. So who do you guys got? Most of the match, least. We'll start with most of the match. Who do you guys see? Throwing it to Chris.
Yeah, most of the match. I'm gonna go with Messi. I mean, it's his easy one, but he had a couple of shots on goal. He had a few nice dribbles, and I mean that's pretty much it. It's hard to find a man of the match in this match. It was pretty rough all along.
I'm trying not to see.
I'm gonna tell you.
I know Jose has.
I'm gonna tell you that it's just.
Jose has the.
This is one of those times. This is one of those times where people say Sofa scores are crap.
Oh God!
Luis Suarez got a 10.
Freaking Suarez. I was gonna say Allende. If it's not Messi, obviously that's your first choice. But if I'm gonna pivot off of Messi, I would say Allende for also getting some shots on target.
It's a lot of bad scores here.
Oh, I
I
bet.
bet.
I mean,
I bet.
You lose 4-0. There shouldn't be many good scores.
So you're
Okay.
going to go Allende?
I am.
I guess I'll go Busquets out of the joke of it.
To make it funny, the highest score is Ustari.
What?
Oh my God!
7.5.
So all the sweeper keeper stuff.
Ustari 7.5. No, Messi was 7.5 as well, but for shock value, I said Ustari.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, that was that one.
Oh, he had a lot of saves.
I don't think we're gonna
It
talk.
could have been worse.
I don't really want to talk about man of the match, to be honest. I feel like we all sucked. Least of the match.
Okay.
That's
All right.
way more fun. There's
Least-
so many possibilities here.
Least of the match. I'm going to give it to Delasco just because in the preview I wanted him to be the one to continue what he did the last match, and he did absolutely nothing today, unfortunately. So
Yeah, that one
He had that
Delasco.
one play that he was great. He drew
Yeah,
three
and then-
guys, and they immediately took him off the pitch.
Mascherano went.
Like, hey, what are you doing? That looked too good. Get out of here. Yeah, so I'm surprised. My initial gut reaction was to go with Ustadi since he allowed 4 goals. But since he was one of the men of the match for Inter Miami, I'm gonna have to go with Toto. Like can I use Toto since he didn't
Of
start
course,
the
he
match?
came in like
I
in the-
want to go with Toto.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay. I mean, typically we don't go with guys who don't start, but
Yeah.
since Toto came on relatively
Yes.
soon, I feel like it's okay to go with him. Played wild, had a yellow card, had an own goal. I feel like that's as bad as it can possibly get for somebody.
Yeah, I agree with Dave that it's going to be Toto, but for the sake of being different, I'll say Chelo. I thought he got smoked left and
Chelo.
right. He had a couple good plays, but overall, I thought
So far, everybody's wrong.
Cello's charred out
everybody's
there.
wrong.
Everybody's
it's gonna
wrong.
be Falcon. It's gonna be Falcon.
Falcon won the least of the match.
Won it. Good job, Maxi.
Good job,
Where's the
Falcon. Paluca. There you go. All right, 5.8 for Falcon. Cello, not a bad one with the yellow. 5.9 with the yellow.
Wow.
So bad.
Pretty bad.
No, but your boy Toto, Dave wanted him. He was like, "Give me Toto. That's the guy I want. Why is no Allen? We need Toto." 5.9, scorching 5.9.
I mean, he came in hot.
He came
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
hot
real hot. Let me tell you.
Like
That
a
yellow.
missile.
Came in like a wrecking ball.
from the start. It's funny when we first
He
talked
heard
about.
Mascherano say, "Oh, you want me to make my presence felt? I'll make them feel me."
Oh,
And he
it's-
did you know what? He got a yellow and he didn't even touch the guy. So like that's some baloney.
And then he kept it clean.
Yeah, like I said, he's been fantastic. I don't know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's great.
Yeah,
Toto's been
5.9.
So did you say
Um,
the least of the match yet or no?
5.9,
It was
5.9,
Maxi.
5.8,
Maxi
Maxi.
Falcon.
Oh, it
Falcon.
was
Why
Maxi.
were
Okay,
the-
yeah.
Peluca.
Segovia, you said 6.0, still terrible.
Still pretty bad.
So we were talking about Boosie earlier, 6.2.
I mean, when you don't score a goal, you're not going to get many.
So Luis
Really good
Suarez,
scores.
6.7. It could have been worse. And that's with the yellow, actually.
For his standards, that's low because I feel like he always finds his way of like
Stat
building
padding.
catchy
He's
stuff.
Yeah, he
big
gets
time.
decent scores on SofaScore. So 6.7 is a testament.
He's basically
to how bad he
Jokic, is
was.
what David is saying. He's basically a Jokic. Is that what you're saying?
No,
30 years from now.
Right.
no.
that was it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning into the most and least of the match brought to you by SofaScore. Download SofaScore for all sports, really. I
Using
use it-
our link.
Yeah, there's a link in the description. Make sure you use that or go back and scan that QR code. But yeah, so now back to MLS play. Woo! Kind of boring.
This.
What's the table looking like? Where are we?
How many games did we
So,
miss?
so we're behind
So many games. in hand.
Actually, I was gonna say we're
Well,
behind 3 matches,
today
but
there were some
but
games, right?
this weekend there was games, so we may be behind 4 matches.
Schedule
can tell you right
congestion.
now.
we're gonna have so many games midweek.
Love that.
We are behind about 4 matches from most teams, 3 to 4 matches from most teams. So we got a lot of ground to make up. We are 6th on the table right now
Chris is gonna
With
whip.
four
at
games in
29
hand.
points.
Chris is gonna
With
whip
4
it around
games
the
in hand.
league right now for everybody.
I mean, there's not much to whip around. We've missed about.
How many points
2
back
weeks.
are we?
Right now, we currently have 29 points. The leader is 40. So
So
we're
we're
about
11 points
points.
back with 4
Points.
games in hand.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
We could probably
It's a lot of games.
we
in
could be
hand.
first though,
Yeah.
right?
We
Like,
could be first.
In theory, yeah.
If
if
they
we
win all
those
those
4
matches,
games.
that's
Win all
12
matches.
points.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom,
If the
boom,
math-
boom, boom.
If the math maths,
Maybe something. Maybe we got a
maybe
fire
we
lit.
win
up.
games.
Maybe we got a fire lit under
Maybe
us,
we'll
and we
see
just
Obando.
take off.
I would
Yeah.
say since Columbus, we did have a fire lit under us.
Maybe we come back from this tournament and the game has slowed down for everybody.
That's right.
Probably not,
it's really
but maybe.
So our next 2
Wouldn't that be
matches.
something?
Let's look ahead. Next 2 matches, we got Montreal on the 5th, July 5th, next
Home?
weekend, I think.
Please.
No, away. Then we got New England away as well.
Damn it.
Then we got Nashville at home
Oh,
and Cincinnati away. Those are the next 4
you
matches.
can always count on playing Nashville at some point.
Yeah,
When's the Montreal
So,
match? Next
July
weekend?
5th. Yeah,
Next weekend. Okay.
next weekend.
So Saturday.
Happy
So I mean,
4th
the
of
next
July.
technically the next 2 matches are very winnable. We should be able to get back up there. But now we look at Nashville and Cincinnati. Nashville is a throw up. We could do it. Cincinnati is one of the best teams in the East right now. So throw a toss up.
Yeah. Bit of a throw up match.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Toss up.
So it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping that Mascherano really starts messing with the rotation a little bit more, so that we see, and like, how have we not seen more of Fafa at this point in the season?
Have we not
How have we not seen
Obando?
Obando? Of
Missing.
course, it blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah, for the tournament, I get it. I get not playing those
Agreed.
guys. I get it. But MLS play.
Fafa, I don't understand.
No,
for the
Fafa.
tournament.
Yeah, Fafa. I don't. Obando, I get it. But MLS play, we have to come out and start playing these guys. And hopefully, Baltasar is 100%. He's been in the bench the last few matches, which is a good sign. Hopefully, with all of these guys coming in, and we got to see this rotation. We can't continue to throw out Luis Suarez for 90 minutes. Really, everybody. We keep playing about the same 11 for 90 minutes, and it's just not good. It's a recipe for disaster.
You're not going to beat the accusations of you're not trying unless you're using these players that you've gone out to acquire. Like, you know the mission it was to get Obando? Like, oh, are we going to buy him outright? Are we going to be able to get him on loan from Atletico? Like, it was a pain in the butt. Same thing with Baltasar. Baltasar Rodriguez, it was a long negotiation to be able to get him. And we never used him. And when we did during this tournament, it was in a very strange spot to put him on. It's that is what falls on Mascherano, because the front office acquires the players, but when it comes to putting them on the pitch, that's the manager's responsibility. He's got to find a way to get these guys in there. Like, Suarez can't be playing 90 plus minutes every single match. We're complaining about his athleticism, yet he doesn't get a single minute of rest.
I think that also, and Chow just mentioned it right now. He said that the whole DP discussion goes back to how the MLS rules prevent us from being competitive on a global stage. I mean, that's exactly what
we've
you're saying
talked
right
about
now
that,
is
yeah.
exactly why the MLS rules are so stupid. Because we have a Luis Suarez, and Obando is the kind of guy that you have. He's 18. What he's 18 or 19. No, he's very young.
He's young.
He's not necessarily a guy that you want to be your main guy. You want him.
He doesn't have to be the
developing.
main guy, but this is a player that is wanted by Europe. He's signed by Europe. These are guys that you
He's
better
good.
believe that
He's
he'd
good.
get more play anywhere
He
else.
can be an infusion of energy. I mean, look at Estevao on Palmeiras.
Yeah.
How old is he? He's also like 18,
Yeah.
19. Like, he is their like star boy.
They're
Like,
not scared of putting him in.
Right.
They're making him the face of their franchise.
and I'm not comparing Obando to Estevao. There's obviously like levels to these Wunder kids, but like Wunda. But you got like, we also have to try. Like, I feel like we're not trying with some of these players, and it's like, why go through the effort, to Dave's point, of acquiring them if you're not going to throw them out there and see what they have?
And that's more along the lines for MLS play, because, again, high stakes tournament, you want your established players. But all season we've been clamoring for Obando, and he's seen 10 minutes of play tops.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Insane. Insane.
Well, we'll see what happens as we venture back into the MLS season. Any closing remarks here as we put a bow on the Club World Cup for Inter Miami?
There's still some time to make up for just to make this season look good. So far, we have nothing to show in this season, but we still got the Leagues Cup coming up. I know people want to make it a joke or whatever, but it's still a trophy. We've won it before. We could do it again. Then we have the MLS playoffs that we are in great shape to make it in. We are in great shape to go far into that tournament in itself. So it's not all over. We still got a chance to win at least 3 trophies, including the Supporter Shield. It's 3. So
We're not winning the Supporter
we're
Shield.
in there. I'm just saying.
I don't think that's
it could happen.
completely out of the realm of
Could happen.
possibility.
We have to see.
Yeah,
We have to see.
see how they come back in form.
There's a lot of games left.
Yeah.
So before we sign off, I still am of the belief that the Club World Cup was a success for Inter Miami. How do you guys feel about that?
Same. Not only did we make it to this stage of the competitions, but it's the manner in which we advanced to this spot. Like, we were able to beat Porto. That's a European team. Nobody had ever done that in the MLS. We were able to we honestly pushed Palmeiras to their limits, and barring a last 10-minute comeback from them, they were able to equalize. But we were playing for the group stage victory. Like, we're going to win the group. Like, that shows you what a good showing this was for a team that nobody thought should even be in this tournament. To have the opportunity to win the group and then advance, that's a runaway victory from my point of view.
Yeah, we were the 4th ranked in our group in the ranking system that goes around a lot. We were number 4. So obviously we were underdogs there, and we came out on top. Whether you want to say the group was weak or whatever you want to call it, we still came out on top. It was not expected. So I say it's a success. Could we have done better? Yeah, we could have done better, but unfortunately we got placed against the PSG. So there's only so much we could do there. But was it a success? Yeah, 100% it was a success.
I think that I came away frustrated with our league, because it also tells us what could have been.
Yeah,
we were in a great position as a league to really show what we have, and it's funny because last year when it was all when it was ending, we were talking about that they need to make changes. They need to make changes, and we were. This isn't a new thing. We've been talking about this. Yeah. And this
just proves how bad it really is. Yeah,
but and the thing is that we didn't have to get here and have a great team and God forbid be allowed to compete in it. And it's just our city rules that prevented it. And so in that sense, we did great, and it was a success because of what we had.
Yeah, with the cards dealt to us. This is the best we could.
But typically speaking, is that what you want out of life, right?
Obviously.
You want to win it, right? I'm sure those guys there they feel the same way. They're like, listen, what we did great.
I think if they had made every single transfer that they wanted to make to this club, I still don't think there was much of a chance of us beating a PSG like that. Even if all their ideal signings and everything had panned out, there's no way that you're going to be able to match a team like PSG.
But perhaps we would have played PSG so early. Maybe.
No, I agree.
Maybe we would have.
But you're still going to run into one of these teams
eventually. But
no, if it wasn't this round, it'd be the next one.
Yeah, that's fine.
It would have bought us one more round of play.
Yeah.
That's what we are right now. Our league is our league.
Yeah.
And we have to play within the rules that they've kind of confined us to. So based on that,
it's ridiculous.
But based on that, this was a success for us.
Yes,
because we can't single-handedly one team make changes there.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. So back to the MLS regular season. We'll be jumping back into that this coming weekend. So 6 days from now, I imagine we'll do a preview show for that match against Montreal as we go back into that. But for those of you that joined our watch along, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. If you only watch this post-match reaction, also appreciate you guys. Go check out the watch along. We're going to set up the chapter so you guys can go see us react to the goals that we saw and some that we didn't. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you guys enjoy the show. A huge thank you to 786 Sports for letting us come into their awesome studios. And thanks for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. And we'll catch you on the next one.
We'll be right back.